The Devil's Game by Pavlo Domitrashuk. Part 3. Acne. The fear of acceptance from others is a great one indeed, but it's nothing compared to the fear of not accepting oneself. Long, thick trunks full of infected blood and topped with a tip of pus on the forehead and on various usual and unusual places. Inside the ears, on the nose, on the neck, on the cheeks. The exaggeration of personal imperfections is the proof of insecurity and the source of self-castration and isolation. Loneliness makes uninteresting people hollow and interesting people full of themselves. But in this regard, it doesn't matter if you are smart or stupid, special or dull, strong or weak. Everyone suffers from loneliness, even though some do much more than others. Acne is one of the common reasons for this insecurity. It strikes during the most vulnerable and volatile years of youth, and it locks you up in a vicious cycle. You have more acne because of the hormones, thus you become insecure and isolate yourself and get more acne out of the stress. This huge blow to beauty is especially painful to the insightful people, because they understand better the superficiality of human character and how looks can ruin lives. And the worst part is that this superficiality is not wrong. In fact, it's the most honest and straightforward aspect of attraction, and also the most natural and reliable one. Just like animals, people have an urge to choose the best specimens of their kind to mate with, and though the fact that acne is just temporary, its sight sends disgust through the viewer's eyes, as tolerant as they might want to be seen as. In fact, acne is quite a character maker. People who are beautiful from young age oftentimes start relying on that beauty for everything, start getting too proud and let go of character completely out of fear of ruining their gorgeous appearance with a bad joke or an unpopular idea. Let's call it the safe beauties ideology, the negation of self-improvement and risk in order to keep living off your body's allure. Is the creation of an empty shell that, though beautiful, is completely worthless on the inside, for it contents itself with its current state. And beauty, as we all are painfully aware of, is not eternal. Of course, many people with the safe beauties ideology start developing their bodies for greater impact, but though a healthy body is incredibly important, it can't make all the difference if you have nothing to add to it. Contrasting with this is the mindset shaped by the looks of an unattractive person. Whether by ugliness, low self-esteem, or unfitting character for the environment the person is in. Let's call this the corner beasts ideology. By this forced isolation, the person becomes bitter, angry, and full of strife and regret. The strong will take the path of pride and isolate themselves, or will try to learn convenient lies to distract people from their appearance and to achieve objectives like company, attention, or sex. The weak, however, will only give in more and more. To them remains the path of flagellation, self-pity, and self-hatred, often culminating in absolute isolation and self-mutilation, or the desperate attempt to fit in by throwing away their original character completely and becoming an empty vessel for the group to fill them up with its common ideals. As we can see, the cornered beasts ideology is a more varied path, though most give in to letting the group dictate their own self for an obvious reason. It's easier to let the world change you than to change the world. Both beauties and beasts' ideologies can produce interesting people, a minority, as beasts are too angry and self-loathing to see the world around them with their blood-red eyes full of despair, rage, and impotence, and the beauties simply can't perceive what their eyes see with their empty heads, which only have small thoughts and serve to complement their status quo attractiveness. They are too scared to ruin the confirmation of others to think outside of the empty box. The thing that most often produces interesting characters is change. A metamorphosis of appearance is what develops the parts of character linked to looks a lot more than the maintenance of the same cosmetic qualities through the life of the individual in question. There are two more types of characters created by looks. When a person was beautiful in the past, but by natural accidental causes or by the self-harming choices like drug abuse, became ugly. When that unfortunate change happens, many turn into full-blown beasts in complete despair. But sometimes people who are subjected to this reach their inner strength and use the anger and drive to achieve a greater understanding and humility that will help them live the life they want to have. One who learns to deal with the misfortune of losing his beauty is the beautiful beast. In the other hand, some people started off ugly but became beautiful with time, sometimes with exercise or with the natural metamorphosis. Those ones are who truly have the greatest of potentials, for they have witnessed the superficial nature of mankind and have learned to live with it by creating a complex character. And later, they acquired the great power of attraction while already having the knowledge they need to keep their character from being corrupted and erased by it. Of course, many give in and become too euphoric with their newfound handsomeness, but the ones who do not fall in this pitfall become truly interesting and fascinating people who can and oftentimes do change the world. A person who retains the interest with this acquisition is the bestial beauty. There are many paths taken by people in their early years that will later develop into a more complex character. This is a specific development of character that results from appearance. Acne is a simple idea. It transmits the feeling of self-disgust and insecurity, so it is mostly based on the beasts, not the beauties. Do not let the gifts that this world bestows upon you shape you completely. You are a being capable of choice. Choose what will shape you and what will not. The dislike that people might harbor towards you, whether based on your appearance or not, doesn't necessarily matter in the first place, because it may fade away with changes in you or those who dislike you, or simply because of the fact that the opinions of some are worthless. Truly, why would you fall into despair if a few people hate you? 10, 100, 1,000. There are billions of people on earth. Never let the hatred of some knock you down. The ones around you might just have very bad taste. Always try to improve yourself with what you learned from others. Only discard criticism that is completely unfounded, for the dislike of others might sometimes be averted by simple changes in your demeanor. And of course, don't let loneliness drive you mad. It can be very useful in giving you time to deliberate and to think through your problems and their solutions more thoroughly without the noise of interruptions of others. Loneliness can help you shape yourself if you learn how to do it.